Hi everyone, this is Lindsay, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry from E-Content Development Center, Majlis Arts and Science College, Puramannur. Here, I wish to share something about the topic green chemistry. I am expecting that by end of this class, you will be able to define what is green chemistry and explain the 12 principles of green chemistry, and you can list out the factors that are needed to make a reaction greener, and you can analyze how the green chemistry principle will be useful to reduce the pollution or environmental impact. And you can describe the progress in the field of green chemistry and the limitation in pursuit the goals of green chemistry or in widespread implementations of green chemistry approach industrially. Let us begin the class. What is green chemistry? Green chemistry is an area of chemistry focused on designing of chemical process or a product that reduce the use or generation of hazardous substances. That means it deals with environmentally benign chemical synthesis and hence also known as sustainable chemistry or environmentally benign chemistry. The next one is green chemistry is about reducing the waste production, usage of material, hazardous substances or toxic substances used or generated, risk of the reactions or chemical products formed, the energy requirement for a chemical reaction, and the cost of production. Origin of green chemistry. The interest in green chemistry was first initiated in United States after the passage of Pollution Prevention Act 1990, which deals with prevention of formation of pollutant. By 1991, Environmental Protection Agency had launched a research grant program to encourage the works in this field. In 2005, the Nobel Prize for Green Chemistry has been awarded to E. Chauvin, Robert H. Grubbs and Richard R. Schrock for the development of metathesis in organic synthesis. Next one is need of green chemistry. We know that chemistry plays an important role in improving our life, but at the same time it is responsible for various environmental problems like acid rain, global warming, ozone depletion by the release of CFC and pesticide pollution, etc., which result in need for greener products. The next one is goal of green chemistry. Green chemistry aims to eliminate or at least reduce the pollution by preventing it from happening as far as possible. The goal of green chemistry is to design synthetic methodologies that reduce or eliminate the use or generation of toxic products. It may be solvent and all other associated products. For example, normally adipic acid produced by use of benzene as starting material, which is carcinogenic in nature, in new developed process aided by biocatalysis, simple glucose is used as starting material. 12 principle of green chemistry. Professor Paul T. Anastas and John C. Warner have postulated the 12 principles of green chemistry. Paul T. Anastas considered as father of green chemistry. 12 principles of green chemistry. These principles demonstrate the breadth of concept of green chemistry. First principle is prevention. It is better to prevent the waste than to treat or clean up after it is formed. Traditionally, whenever waste materials are generated, then the methods are also developed to treat or clean up it. But in green chemistry approach, the methods are developed for the prevention of formation of waste. Next one is atom economy. Synthetic method should be designed to maximize the incorporation of all the materials into final product. That means maximize the atom economy. Atom economy is ratio of molar mass of the desired product to the molar mass of all reactant into 100. The next principle is less hazardous chemical synthesis. Whenever possible, synthetic methodology should be designed to generate or use the substances that possess little toxicity or no toxicity to the human health and environment. Next one is designing of safer chemicals. Chemical product should be designed to preserve its functional efficacy while reducing its toxicity. The next one is safer solvent and auxiliaries. The use of auxiliaries like solvent and separating agent should be made unnecessary whenever possible and innocuous when used. The next one is design for energy efficiency. The energy requirement for a chemical process should be recognized for their environmental impact and economical impact and should be minimized. If possible, the chemical reaction should be conducted at ambient temperature and pressure. The next principle is use of renewable feedstock. Raw material or feedstock should be renewable rather than depleting one whenever technically and economically practicable. Reduce derivative. Unnecessary derivatization like use of blocking group, protecting group and temporary modification of process should be minimized or avoided if possible because such a step require additional reagent and can generate waste. Catalysis. Catalytic reagent are superior to stoichiometric reagents. Next one is design for degradation. The chemical product should be designed so that at end of their function they do not persist in the environment and break down into innocuous degradation product. The next one is real-time analysis for pollution prevention. Analytical methodology need to be further developed to allow real-time in-process monitoring and control prior to the formation of hazardous substances. The last principle is inherently safer chemistry for accident prevention. The substance and form of substance used in a chemical process should be chosen so as to minimize the potential for chemical accidents. That means release explosion and fires. The next is progress in green chemistry. There have been several innovations that have been implemented by industries. The process like metathesis has revolutionized the progress of green chemistry. Another one is use of liquid CO2 in place of organic solvent like perchloroethylene. The green chemistry mission was originally initiated in United States and it was initiated by US Environmental Protection Agency, that means US EPA. There is number of other research establishments that encourage the research in field of green chemistry. That's are the Green Chemistry Research Network Europe and Green Chemistry Institute US, Green and Sustainable Chemistry Network Japan. The Royal Society UK even has a journal named Green Chemistry extensively to cover the research in this area. In 1996, US EPA has also instituted the Presidential Green Chemistry Challenge Award to encourage the research in this field. In mid to late 1990, saw an increase in number of international meetings devoted to green chemistry in various developed and developing countries. These efforts have made a progress in this field. Limitations of green chemistry. We know that green chemistry is not a new branch and these have wide range of benefits also. There is lot of barriers that slow or prevent the widespread implementation of green chemistry also. Some of them are mentioned here. Lack of suitable alternative chemicals or raw material. Lack of knowledge about available method or technique. Hesitation of company to adopt new technologies in the place of conventional methods. Lack of financial or policy incentives to encourage the research. Lack of strict rule to compel the companies to adopt the green chemistry approach. These are the limitations of green chemistry. Okay, I am going to conclude my class and hope that you all understood about the basic concept of green chemistry. Thank you.